This is an electrical motor. It's one of the most important devices ever to be invented.
All right, buckle up, everybody, because we are diving deep into the future of electric vehicles today.
Ooh, exciting.
We're all about that cutting-edge tech, so
Yeah.
magnet-free motors.
Absolutely.
We're talking about magnet-free motors today.
This is the stuff.
Which is...
Yeah, this is cutting edge, and I think it's really going to change how we think about electric cars.
We've got a handle on you listeners. You are interested in this. We've been seeing all the buzz.
Yeah.
So Molly and Vallejo, big players, right, teaming up to bring magnet-free motors to, like, high-performance EVs.
Yeah. Who doesn't want a fast and green car?
Sign me up.
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
it's really interesting because, like, for the longest time, magnets have been kind of like the backbone of the electric motor.
Right, of course.
But companies are starting to say, well, hold on, like, what if we did things a little differently?
What if we just got rid of the magnets altogether?
Yeah.
Which sounds crazy.
It sounds a little wild, right? But it's a similar principle to, like, how your phone charges wirelessly.
Okay.
You got that induction.
Wireless charging. So you're saying they're beaming the power to the motor to make it spin?
Basically, yeah.
Hmm.
Instead of having a physical magnet, these motors are using what's called induction
That's wild.
to create the magnetic field that makes the motor go.
So it's like sci-fi, but in a car.
A little bit. It's pretty futuristic.
That's so cool.
MALE, they call their technology magnet-free contactless transmitter, or MCT.
It's ET.
Package. Right.
Yeah, it is.
But they figured out how to use these specially designed coils and a wireless transmitter to generate that magnetic field.
So no more like bulky magnets.
Exactly.
No more like I know we're always hearing about like rare earth element stuff and how that can be.
Yeah, it can be a bit of a headache.
Yeah.
Mining those rare earth magnets, it can be tough on the environment. And the supply chains are very complex.
Yeah.
So by taking magnets out of the equation, they're able to have a much lighter footprint.
Lighter footprint, greener car, everybody wins.
Exactly.
We're not just talking about any electric car. We're talking about
We're talking performance here.
high performance.
Yeah.
Can they really get that with this magnet-free tech?
That is the million-dollar question. But what's exciting is that Molly and Vallejo aren't messing around.
Okay.
They're aiming for this system, by the way. They're calling it IBE.
IBE, okay.
Stands for Inner Brushless Electrical Excitation.
Catchy.
It's a mouthful.
But it is.
They're aiming for an output of up to 350 kilowatts.
350 kilowatts. Now, for those of us who, think a little bit more in horsepower,
Sure.
that's
a lot of power.
a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with that, there's got to be some challenges, right?
There are always challenges.
Because
Yeah.
that's a lot of power. I mean, 350 kilowatts, that's got to be like, what, almost 500 horsepower?
Yeah, something like that.
That's a lot of horses.
It's a lot of power in a small package. And
It is.
with that comes challenges.
Right. Yeah, like what are we talking about here? What's the catch?
Well, one of the things with magnet-free motors is they run hot.
Oh.
They run hotter than your traditional magnet-based motors.
Because more power, more heat.
Right. It's physics, unfortunately.
There's always physics.
Always something. But that's something that Molly and Vallejo have definitely thought about.
Yeah. So what are they doing? What are they thinking to keep things cool?
So remember we were talking about Molly's SCT motor?
Oh, yeah. The endurance one.
That's the one. The marathon runner of motors.
Yeah, that thing was insane.
90% peak power output continuously.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's a beast. And here's the thing.
Okay.
They designed it to work with traditional magnets and this new magnet-free MCT system.
Oh, wow. So they were already thinking ahead with this.
They were already thinking ahead.
Like, all right, when we eventually ditch these magnets, we're ready.
Exactly.
They're playing chess, and we're playing checkers, it feels like.
A little bit. They're anticipating those challenges, and they're like baking in the solutions right into the design.
Smart. Okay. So,
which is a good sign.
Yeah, it is a good sign. So they're handling the power, they're handling the heat. But what about, like,
What about the
double sustainability part of it?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, ditching the rare earths is good.
Right.
But how much of a difference does that actually make, like, on a bigger scale?
So this is where I think the IBE system could really make a splash.
Okay.
They're aiming for a 40% reduction in carbon footprint
40%.
compared to your traditional magnet-based motor.
That's huge.
That's not insignificant. That's a big chunk.
That's like, instead of taking the bus, I'm just going to ride my bike kind of difference.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
That's a good comparison.
And, to put that in perspective, Vallejo has been working with Renault on a magnet-free motor.
Right.
the E7A, I think it was.
Yeah.
Supposed to come out in 2027. And their goal was a 30% reduction.
Which was still good. That was impressive at the time.
Which was impressive, exactly.
But now,
This blows that out of the water.
40%. They're like, hold my organic smoothie. We're going bigger.
Yeah, exactly. Taking it to the next level.
But it really makes you think, like, we're not just talking about, like, a component swap here.
Right.
It's a whole, like, supply chain thing, right?
Absolutely.
It affects a lot more than just, what's under the hood.
It's bigger than the car.
Yeah. It's like we're thinking on a whole other level with this.
Yeah, it's a whole paradigm shift.
So with these rare earth magnets, I mean, like,
Right.
getting rid of those from the whole process, like...
It's huge, and it's not just about the environment.
Yeah.
Remember we were talking about, like, how complicated those supply chains are?
Oh, yeah. Super
It's
complicated.
like a whole geopolitical thing.
Yeah, like, we need a whole other deep dive just to unpack that.
Exactly.
So they're just like, all right, well, we're stepping out of that whole game.
Yeah, we're going to do our own thing.
We're going magnet-free, like...
It's a really elegant solution in a way.
It is.
Because they're not just saying, oh, we're going to find a more ethical way to source these magnets. They're just like, we don't need them.
We're out.
Yeah.
It's like breaking up with your phone and being like, I don't need to call anybody. I'm just going to,
Exactly.
send smoke signals.
Go back to the old ways.
Yeah, but like better.
But better, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, this is obviously still
This is the tip of the iceberg.
very much in the early stages.
Yeah, we're talking prototypes.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, will they actually be able to pull this off?
That's the million-dollar question.
It is the million-dollar question because
Yeah.
they said end of 2024.
End of 2024, that's the goal.
Prototypes ready, but like we know.
That's a very different thing from
Prototypes to production. That's a whole other
completely different.
beast.
Yeah.
But still, it's promising. It's interesting.
It's really cool to see companies kind of pushing the envelope like this.
It is. It is.
It's
It gets us excited.
And not just like making incremental improvements, but really like rethinking the fundamentals
Yeah.
of how these things work. It's exciting stuff.
I'm into it. So big takeaways for me,
Yeah.
magnet-free motors,
Yeah,
potentially the future.
potentially.
We'll have to see. I mean, but it's looking good. It's looking really promising.
It's looking good. They've got some smart people working on this, so
They do. They do.
I'm optimistic.
And it's just really cool to see, like, what started as, like,
Yeah,
a cool idea
that'd be a crazy idea.
is now like, oh no, these big players are taking it seriously.
It's becoming a reality.
And they're putting some weight behind it.
Yeah, and I think that's what we love about these deep dives, right?
It is.
We get to see these things, like,
as they're happening.
right from the beginning, like when it's still,
Right when they're just a glimmer.
just a little seed of an idea, and who knows, maybe in a couple years,
Yeah.
we'll all be driving cars powered by this technology. It's pretty wild.
It's pretty wild. And that's what makes these deep dives so fun.
Exactly.
So thank you, everybody, for, diving in with us.
Yeah, thanks for listening,
Buckling up.
and we'll see you in the next one.
We'll see you next time.